Alrighty guys, what is going on everybody? Welcome to a very late live stream. I hope everyone is doing good out there. Glad to have y'all here for today. It's been a while. I've been very busy in terms of packing and all of that fun stuff. But what's up everybody? Hope everyone's having a great, like I said, hope everyone's having a great evening at this point. And we're glad to have y'all here. So we're here for, not just an update on the tropics. We're here for an update on severe weather as well. Because we are talking a few days of, severe weather being possible. So we'll have to keep an eye out there for that. But anyways, my friends, let's go ahead and see who we have here for tonight. We got ourselves TRG Tornado. We have, let's see here, Aline and Roby. What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful evening here. But yeah, no, we are watching, let's see, Philippe. I think that's the name. I always say that. I always say Philippe. It's something else. I know it. But anyways, yeah, we're watching this. It's actually forecasted to be a hurricane. Forecasted to be a hurricane later on down in time. Now, this thing is going to be causing potential surf problems for areas here by the, the Lesser Antilles. If you are vacationing out there in the Lesser Antilles, I would, watch out for that as, some high seas could be a good possibility. So we'll definitely need to be looking out there for this overall. We'll definitely need to be looking out for it and, monitoring those conditions for the people out there. But this thing is actually forecasted to become a hurricane here later on down in time. We're talking here for around the 3rd, sustained at 75 as soon as it gets, turns into hurricane status here. We're talking around 8 o'clock p.m., so right around the evening of the 3rd. It's expected to be a Category 1 hurricane, and, it's supposed to actually decently strengthen from the point being here. Obviously, at the latest end of the cone, it's still continuing to strengthen. Now, as of now, it seems like, yes, this thing will pull out its way to sea, but, like I was mentioning before, though, is the areas here by, the Lesser Antilles should monitor this. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some form of coastal impacts, maybe some rip currents and all that fun stuff. That, we're going to have to continue to watch out there. So we'll keep an eye out there for that. And like I said, this is not just a update here, not just an update on the tropics, because we do have a couple of days of severe weather expected. Right now they're marginal risk, but I'm thinking they possibly could get upgraded, and you'll see exactly why I'm talking about that here in a minute. Let's see here. We got ourselves Yankee saying hi, Andrew. What's up, Yankee? Hope you're doing good. See, we have Crystal saying howdy. What's up, Crystal? Hope you're doing all right. We have Cindy saying Texas here. What's up, guys? Yeah, once again, sorry for the late live stream. My schedule, for one, has been very messed up, as well as, in terms of moving and stuff like that. Things are a little hectic right now. Excuse me? What is going on with my program? Why is there 2 tracks on this thing? You see that, right? Am I losing my mind or something? Why is there 2 tracks? Okay. Anyways, wait. And then there's not a track on this storm here, which is Rena. Okay, this program obviously glitches out from time to time. Anyways, but yeah, we are seeing a bit of thunderstorm activity right now happening across like New Mexico. There was a bit of severe thunderstorms activity that was on it earlier. Right now, I mean, there's still pretty decent thunderstorms. I mean, I can go ahead and switch over to the radar out there. Um, but yeah, no, they are pretty decent thunderstorms, and as you can see across the dark green here, they are under a marginal risk here for severe weather, which is a level 1 severe weather threat. The main concern is actually just damaging winds across the way here. But let's go ahead and hop our way over here to the radar. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to the single site, and we're going to hop over here to the activity that's going on out there. So let's go ahead and do that now. But yeah, there's a lot of lightning activity with the storms that are kicking off here right now. I mean, you can see there's a lot of lightning detection here on the radar, really from satellite, but it is popping up here. You can really see it. So it's very active, very energetic storms, and we mentioned here that the concern is damaging winds. Damaging winds is the concern here for today. Actually, we have another marginal risk out there by portions of like north central portions of Arizona. We got another actually extends into southwestern Utah as well. Let's see, we actually got damaging wind reports out there earlier. Let's see, hold on a minute. We got damaging wind reports coming through here earlier from areas in southwestern Utah. Let's see here. This is 2 miles southwest of Leeds. Let's see, measured 61 mile an hour winds. And yeah, no, there was a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out there. Some of them were considerable. Wow, this one was actually for 70 mile an hour winds and 1.5 inch hail. So it also looks like hail could potentially be a possibility too. But anyways. See here. What's up, Cindy? Hope you're doing good. Let's see, I'm sorry I'm late, says Crystal. You're good. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I know it's a very late live stream. I'm not expecting a lot of people to be here tonight, but it's just, with my schedule going on and everything with moving and everything, it's a pain. But hopefully that'll be squared away here soon. I'm actually moving less than a week from now, so it's going to be quite a ride, quite a journey for me, especially moving 15 hours away from where I'm at right now. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a haul, but I am ready to get this over with, as you can probably imagine. But anyways, let's move over here to the SPC real quickly. So obviously this is the Storm Prediction Center here regarding severe weather activity over the next little bit. So we mentioned that today we do have that severe weather threat across portions here, like portion out there towards New Mexico, and portions here towards like Utah and Arizona. There is no tornado threat for tonight, which is good. Just damaging winds. I think that hail could be a possibility, considering that one warning we saw there was actually warned for like 1.5 inch hail, which is ping pong ball size. Pretty crazy. And some of those wind gusts could be ranging, mostly should be ranging between 60 and 70 miles an hour. So that's a possibility. But then we work our way into tomorrow. Now, tomorrow's threat, we do have ourselves 2 other marginal risk here, across portions here of southwestern, North Dakota, portions here of western South Dakota, and northwest Nebraska. Now, tomorrow, still no chance for tornadoes, but we are seeing the possibility for hail tomorrow as well. Hail damaging winds seems to be a good concern, so we'll have to watch out for those, hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, damaging winds ranging between 60 and 70, as we were talking about out there. Whenever it comes to the day after that, though, that's when I think things could possibly get a little bit interesting here for Monday, as we have another severe weather threat across portions here of eastern portions of New Mexico here, as well as western Texas, and obviously the Dakotas here, once again at threat. Right now, there is no breakdown on that overall, but I definitely kind of think we might be in the possibility of maybe a few weak tornadoes. I think that's a good possibility for day 3. We'll have to continue monitoring that, because before the stream started, I was actually browsing the models overall. I was looking at the models and stuff like that. And hold on. Come on, there's that daily sneeze. I couldn't get it out as usual. But anyways, whenever it comes to it, we're going to hop over here to the models. Let's go and hop over here to NAM real quickly. We'll get back into tropics here in a minute, y'all. I know that's what a lot of you guys probably joined here for, but I did want to mention this as well. Is later on down in time, I mean, we are going to have a decent amount of instability available. Kicking off here for basically pretty much Tuesday, actually. From late Monday, I think a Tuesday, theoretically could be a pretty decent severe weather event. We are going to be seeing ourselves, a good amount of instability, a good amount of energy out there. Let's actually hop over to this screen here. It's a little bit more fitting. But yeah, there seems to be a good amount of instability here. And the thing is I was actually grabbing soundings earlier from this. Let me actually move my camera just a little bit. Oh, there goes my light. That did not help. But anyways, when it comes to it here, we are actually seeing, a decent jet stream, a decent lower level jet stream. Mixing in with some of that instability we were talking about out there, decent amount of instability. It's kind of capped at this moment, but it definitely does break around that time. So I'm thinking we possibly could be seeing a decent amount of possible severe weather activity out there across portions of like western Texas, probably for Tuesday, Monday and the Tuesday. So we'll definitely have to watch out there for that. That is something I do want to keep an eye out there for. Here overall, let's actually do this. Go ahead and switch over here back to dew points. Like I said, in terms of moisture, it definitely seems like there's a lot of moisture here at the surface. We measure those in dew points usually. And it's really showing, those dew point values to be in the mid-60s, which is very good for, severe weather activity. So, combining the amount of moisture that's, at the lower portion of the atmosphere, mixing in with the strong winds and the heavy instability, we actually are talking a really good, overall a really good shot for severe weather to occur. We have, like I said, a little frontal mass rolling through here. You can actually see a little frontal system pushing through. So that's going to initiate some of those thunderstorms in which we definitely need to watch out there for. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop our way back over here to the Hurricane Center. Or actually, let's hop over to the Hurricane Center. We're going to go and full screen this again for y'all. So we have two tropical systems out in the Atlantic right now. We have Philippe and Rina. I know it's not Philippe. I always forget. But anyways, Philippe is what I'm going to call it, because that's what I've always called it, basically. These tropical names are a little difficult to pronounce. But when it comes to Philippe, we'll call it quote-unquote Philippe, we're talking sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. Central low has dropped into the 900s category. 999 millibars here, moving relatively slow, moving to the southwest at 5 miles per hour. So it's moving very slow. Now, with the system, we are expecting, this thing to move pretty slow, and it's actually supposed to kind of gradually turn to the northwest and then kick its way out here to sea. And like I said, this thing is forecasted to be a hurricane here for Tuesday. It is looking like it is going to be a potential hurricane here for Tuesday. We're going to need to look out there for overall whenever it comes to it. So we'll definitely watch out for that. We'll definitely keep an eye out there for it overall. So we're talking around 8 o'clock p.m. as of right now. Around 8 p.m. Tuesday, this thing should be a hurricane. CC says Philippe. That's right, Philippe. It's been a few days since I could remember that. Yes, it's Philippe. Thank you so much, CC, for pointing that out. But yeah, it's going to remain a tropical storm, for the next couple of days. I mean, obviously today's Saturday. Well, it's almost Sunday at this point anyways. And, we are going to see this thing remain a tropical storm here for the next little bit, probably there until basically morning of Tuesday. So we have, 2 or 3 days to go. But then it's going to, gradually strengthen. It's going to gradually strengthen here. What's up, James? Hope you're doing good. Let's see, Ghost420 says, hey, what's up? Hope you guys are doing good. Glad to have y'all here. But we'll definitely watch out for it. I mean, because like I said, we are seeing a good shot at maybe airs here towards the Lesser Antilles. We could be seeing, a potential issue with maybe some coastal flooding potentially. It's probably not going to be anything extreme, but rip currents could be an issue. Typically whenever you get tropical systems that make their way pretty close to land, I mean, not particularly overland. I mean, of course that'd bring a whole new ballpark of problems if it was to go overland, which it's not. So that's good. But whenever it comes to it, though, I mean, there is still going to be some effects, even though the system is offshore for the most part. I mean, we've mentioned that, rip currents is a problem. That is an issue for the people who's on the beach. And if you go out in the ocean, that's not really anything good. So definitely want to avoid that, if you could. I mean, you can go to the beach, obviously. You can probably dip your toes in the water, but I wouldn't go waist deep in it. Because, at that point we have the problem for rip currents, which could, sweep you out to sea, which would not be very, very good. Especially for our vacation. Wouldn't want to spend your vacation being launched out to sea. That would definitely not be very good. And but overall, yeah, watch out for the Lesser Antilles. I mean, there's no tropical storm warnings, watches, or anything like that right now. The tropical storm force winds are actually fairly small. I mean, you can see across this yellow area, that's where the estimated tropical storm force winds are right now regarding Philippe here overall. But yeah, we are seeing gradual movement to the northwest overall. So that's that. That's the probability here. Bermuda, I mean, Bermuda could have some impacts, could not. Depends on the track. But right now, Bermuda's set in a 5 to 10% chance zone of seeing tropical storm force winds. Odds are very low. I think this thing is going to be working its way just east of Bermuda. The cone suggests that this thing really just pulls out relatively mostly to the east of Bermuda. I don't think it's going to cause any landfall issues, which is good. Definitely is something that, is great considering the season's been fairly active, very, very active, especially for an El Nino. It's been absolutely crazy, absolute crazy year. So definitely got to be looking out there for that overall. Hurricane wind speed probabilities very far away from land. That's something you definitely do not got to be worrying about there. Roby says, thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome. Looks like I'll have to mow in southwest Missouri. Sounds good. Yeah, I'll get over the overall weather here, too. I'll do a full-on weather breakdown here in a minute. I'm just going to get through the tropics first once again. And, of course, we have Rena. Now, Rena is a bit weaker. Now, Rena right now is a very small system, and it's actually decaying relatively quickly. If I bring you guys over here to the satellite imagery, we're going to do that real quickly. Let's go ahead and give me a second to pull that up. But when it comes to the satellite imagery regarding the system, I mean, you can see comparing to Philippe and Rena, there is a lot of big differences, okay? There's a lot of big differences. So let's go and hop you guys over here. So that is the two systems. So that's Rena and that's Philippe. You guys can obviously tell what's the difference. Obviously, Philippe is Philippe is looking a lot better than Rena is. So whenever it comes to it, Rena is a big mess right now. We're talking, minimal thunderstorm activity, relatively disorganized. It's on a weakening trend. It's going to weaken very, very quickly. We're talking sustained winds right now, 40 miles an hour with gusts getting up to 50. Pressure, as we mentioned, is 1,000. I don't think I said it or not, but it's 1,004 millibars. It's moving faster than Philippe is. It's moving to the northwest around 14 miles an hour here overall. So that is, it's moving a bit quicker, but this thing is actually forecasted to turn into a depression by tomorrow morning. So this is going to be pretty much the last update we talk about Rena, as the system is just forecasted just to quickly die out overall. No rip currents for South Carolina, so you're good, Ty. But in terms of Philippe, though, that's a bit of a difference. Philippe is a lot more organized. You can see a lot more of that centralized thunderstorm activity. It's a big plume of this thunderstorms and big convection going on there. So Philippe is definitely looking a lot more healthier. It's actually stronger right now as well. What's gusting up in Rena is the sustained of Philippe. So that is what's going on right there. But yeah, this thing, once again, is forecast to be a hurricane. We'll see Cat 1 probably sometime around the evening of the 3rd, so we'll keep an eye out there for that. I'll keep you guys posted and overall. But that is that. That is essentially that is essentially what we are looking at. But let's go ahead and hop our way over here back to, actually, I want to bring you guys to the satellite view. I want to go ahead and show you guys the overall weather that's happening right now. That way we can understand what's happening in the future. So let me do that for you guys, because I want you guys to understand the potential risks we could have here in the future. So let's go ahead and bring you all over here to the satellite view real quickly. So as you can see right now, to person who's not really into weather, you probably just see a bunch of colors, and which I don't blame you. It's really not that, or it's pretty intimidating, I should say. But it's really not. I mean, if you look at the orange and yellow, that's showing a lot of dry air. Overall, good conditions. No rainfall. Pretty spot on. Things are looking pretty good. We got high pressure. That's associated with a high pressure system. So we got high pressure that's building in across the central eastern country for the most part. So we won't expect much rain out there for a little bit. That's definitely some good news. And if you look actually closely, you might notice this little jet, this really weird figure right here. This is actually a low pressure system dragging in some of that dry air from the high pressure system. So that's actually dragging in quite a bit of warm air overall. And, it's actually causing a bit of a problem for New York. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, but they've been seeing some historic flooding out there. It's been very bad. So basically what's happening here is this low-pressure system's moisture is caught up on the northwestern and northern quadrant, which is allowing for a lot of rainfall to fall across these regions here. So that is something to definitely look out there for in terms of flooding. It's a big problem. Big problem out there. And of course we have the west here. There's a lot of problems happening out west. I mean, a lot of potential for thunderstorms, all that stuff. You can see a lot of moisture, all that blue and white and green. That's showing a lot of moisture. And you can actually see a couple thunderstorms possibly popping out there towards Minnesota too in the latest scan. Same thing down south there towards New Mexico. So that's what's going on. So what's happening here in the summary of things, high pressure is in place, dry conditions out here in the east, and out in the west, well, a little bit different, a little bit opposite actually, where we have ourselves a lot more moisture and overall more rainy conditions out there overall. So I did want to mention that we actually do have ourselves a big trough. This is exactly what I want to show you. So this is the jet stream. So I wanted to show you guys this so you guys can understand what's happening here in the future and all that stuff. So we have a big dip in the jet stream. So the jet stream does something along the lines of this. Classic setup here. So, like I said, we have the high pressure. You can see the H there for high pressure right across the east. Pretty nice conditions. Actually, could be a little bit warmer than normal. You know, could be a bit more warmer. Overall, relatively sunny, too. Sunny, warmer, nice days. Nice days. So, look out there for that. Across the west, though, a bit more stormy. Got ourselves low pressure system dipping its way here to the east, or dipping more down to the south and tracking eastward. That could be a problem with severe weather in the next 3 days or so. So this low pressure system is going to be working its way here to the east overall. We're going to need to be watching out for this because, you know, we mentioned that, you know, there could be a threat for severe weather sometime here, basically for Monday and Tuesday, for severe weather out across Texas, and who knows, other places surrounding it could have some problems as well. So let's watch out for that. Let's keep it out there for that. You know, I think personally from some of the signatures I've seen so far between the models, I think it's a possibility that we could get maybe a few isolated tornadic activity. We'll see how that plays out. It's definitely a good possibility. Let's keep it on the back burner for now, but I do think we have a bit of severe weather activity that's coming up here on the horizon, okay? So that is something to look out there for, okay? But anyways, but that's that. Once again, get yourself a last look here at the overall view. I mean, once again, here's the current satellite view. High pressure across central eastern country. Don't expect much other than a lot of sunny conditions and warm temperatures. That's pretty much what you can expect out there. And of course, complete opposite out west. Lower pressure, more overcast, more rainy, complete opposite. So that's the west right now in general. But anyways, but that's that. We're going to go ahead and work our way away from that now. But, you know, like I said, back down in the models here, as we work our way down in time, let's go ahead and hop our way over here to that. Let's see, we're going to actually go to the full screen here overall. But whenever it comes to it here, or overall in general, let's see. So you can actually see here, we have this big jet of, you know, basically a lot of instability. There it goes, right there. Boom, you can see that. So there towards the end of this new run that's coming through, actually, you can actually see what's happening. We got ourselves that low pressure system. I don't know if you guys can tell where it's at, but the low pressure system is located right in here. So that's where that low we were talking about right now, it's right here. Remember how we watched it across the west? That is going to track its way relatively to the east, maybe a little bit to the northeast. And so what's going to happen here? It's pretty interesting. What's going to happen is pretty interesting. So we're going to have ourselves our cold front. This is a cold front, which is cold air replacing warm air overall. So what's happening here is that this system is going to be rotating counterclockwise. So just like this, that's how these systems work. They rotate counterclockwise. We have a cold front that develops here because what's happening is we get some cooler air coming down from the north. Obviously up north it's a bit more cooler than it is down south, further away from the equator, bringing that cooler air down. So that cooler air is going to be backing its way down here due to that counterclockwise rotation, just kind of stirring up the atmosphere here. So basically it's going to be bringing out a lot of cold air, and what's going to be happening on the front of the system is the complete opposite. So it's actually going to be dragging up some warm air and potentially a decent amount of moisture as well from the Gulf of Mexico, bringing up a lot more of that humid, more moisture-filled air, a lot more you know, potential precipitation in that area right there. But you can see the big clashing point is right here, right there. So that's the point of where your warm temperatures and your cold temperatures meet. That is where you have violent activity. That's where, you know, instability is gained. That's where thunderstorms love. That's the environment that thunderstorms happen in. So that's something we got to look out there for. Anyways, but let's go ahead and clear all this nonsense here. So whenever it comes to it, across portions here of the west and portions here along, you know, western, you know, Oklahoma and through portions of central Kansas, there is going to be a decent amount of instability. Let me actually bring that back up for you guys. That is where the overall signature of instability is here overall. Now, the next very important thing to look at is wind shear. So we measured, that's where the strongest amount of energy is for, you know, thunderstorms. And you notice how we have a lot of strong winds. They're towards the lower levels of the atmosphere. They're towards the lower levels, located right here across portions of Kansas. So that increased lower level jet stream component, as well as the instability. Let's go ahead and grab a sounding here, see what it says. I think it's a possibility for a few tornadoes. I definitely think it's a good shot in which we need to be looking out there for. So right now, this sounding is not contaminated, which is good. Honestly, though, in this in particular sounding, it doesn't look very, you know, too tornadic. Reason is because lower levels of the atmosphere is pretty dry. For the most part, you get your temperatures that are really far away from your dew points. It makes the humidity pretty low. Could be a problem for tornadoes. Could be. And of course, the winds are relatively linear across the levels of the atmosphere. So at this point, we're seeing those winds move to the northeast. And as you go up in atmosphere, continue moving to the northeast. There's no change in wind direction in the atmosphere at this point. So, honestly, it looks like a severe weather potential setup here. I'm not saying that. But overall, I think this is just going to be basic, probably wind damage, maybe some hail potentially. Could be a problem. So that is that. I wanted to mention that. But yeah, you can see how the jet stream really amps up across these regions up here. The good news about this, though, is the instability, the energy for thunderstorms will not be persistent out there. I mean, there's going to be possibly some pockets of instability that could build into these regions, which could allow for, some potential activity to occur across some of those regions. Now, let's actually zoom our way in here towards the central country. How about that? We're going to zoom our way into the central country. So, obviously, the more closer we get to that low-pressure system, the less instability there's going to be available because it has more distance to travel and all that fun stuff. So, low-pressure system's up there, essentially. It's a little bit higher than I thought it was, but still, generally, that is where the trough is located, right in this region here. So, that's that. But anyways, yeah, a lot of the instability starts to cut off here once you work your way into Nebraska, according to this model. Now, you obviously got to remember that one model is not perfect. You got to take it, with a grain of salt, like I always say. But let's go ahead and grab an isolated sounding out here in Nebraska, out of that pocket of instability. That's where your wind shear is the strongest, or stronger, I should say. It's actually a little bit of a contaminated sounding, but overall, I mean, thunderstorms could exist out in those regions. What's up, Pilot? Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to have you here. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's still a little bit away. I mean, we're still talking basically late Tuesday. We're talking Tuesday, but I definitely think it is something to watch. I really do. Here is the NAM model. The NAM model showing kind of the same thing, maybe a little bit more to the west in terms of timing. Could be a little bit more earlier, a little bit more to the west here. So we'll watch out there for that. But overall, the models are agreeing on a decent amount of instability available, which definitely could be a problem. Let's go and grab a sounding here in southwest Kansas. Let's go and see what's going on out here. Just grab a view. So, okay. This, not gonna lie, is a pretty violent sounding, in regarding to activity. So I know you guys, it's a bunch of gibberish for a lot of y'all to read this. I know it's really nothing you don't really know what's going on here, I should say. You really don't know what's going on here, but I can tell you what's happening here for the most part. So what I see is thunderstorm potential. I see a shot for some pretty decent thunderstorms, actually. So let me show you what's going on. So this is the surface. So at this level right here, this is the ground level, and this is about 15 kilometers up, which is fairly high, fairly high up there, okay? So we work our way up in the atmosphere, and you can see how we have ourselves a good amount of instability. So the instability cuts off right here, and it starts basically at the surface for the most part. So thunderstorm, a lot of warm moisture will rise until it reaches this level, equilibrium level, which that is where the thunderstorm will top. That is the ceiling of the thunderstorm. We also call this area the tropopause, but that's another subject for a different day. But yeah, that's where the instability is located. That's where your thunderstorm juice is. And what I see here is a very dry mid-level environment. Now, I know you guys are wondering, what the heck did I just say? Across the center of the atmosphere, okay, it's very dry, which if you ever see a pretty dry central atmosphere, that means that there is a good shot for some hail. We're going to have to look out for hail here because, this is also something I'm seeing, wet bulb temperature, 700 millibars. Anyways, that is something that you guys just don't need to listen to. But but overall, there is a pretty dry atmosphere, and I think that hail growth could be a big thing, in which we'll definitely have to look out there for hail growth overall, and damaging wind gusts. Damaging winds could be a big problem regarding this system, so damaging winds and hail, I think, could be a problem for portions here, according to the model. So, like I said, let's just keep an eye on it, guys. We'll definitely just have to watch out for it over the next little bit. All hazards, I think, potentially could be a thing. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it overall. That is for sure. Definitely we'll have to keep an eye out there for this thing overall. Now, tomorrow, for the live stream, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. Like I said, I have a lot of things happening in my personal life right now. I can't really live stream too much this week because if you know or if you don't, I'm moving here, and so obviously a lot of stuff going on right now. I have to be busy with packing and all that fun stuff. So over the next week, don't expect much content from me because I'm going to be in the process of moving. So, but next week, things are going to start to kick back up. Things will definitely start to kick back up here in terms of overall activity, more streams and stuff. Not to mention, I mean, literally, other than this potential severe weather setup we were talking about here in the future across like Texas and all, between that and between the between that and between the overall view here of the tropics, there's really not too much happening right now. It is actually pretty quiet in severe weather land. I mean, for the most part, I think we have an event coming up here, but overall, though, it's really not active, which is good. Honestly, I am very happy that it is not active. For one, people dealing with severe weather is not really good. The only thing that's really bad right now is the floods that you guys probably heard of in New York. That's been pretty gnarly. And let me actually look at that. I'll go ahead and show you guys how much rain has been observed here in the last little bit. Let's see here. Observed precipitation in the last 70. Let's see here. Wow. Holy cow. Okay, that's crazy. Let me go ahead and bring you guys over here real quickly. Let's go ahead and kick me out. Let's see here. Alright, let's go ahead and move y'all over here. We're going to hop to observed precipitation over the last 72 hours. It's pretty brutal. New York City, yep, has seen about 4 inches of rainfall. Let's go ahead and do this real quickly. Wow. Yeah, look at that. Over 4 inches. 100. Yeah, Long Island's gotten flooded out there overall. Like I said, we have that low pressure system that's located just off the east coast of the U.S., and all that moisture is pushed to the northwest quadrant of the system, which is dumping all the rain across New York, which has been pretty gnarly overall. It looks like it is still raining across Massachusetts right now. Let's see here, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all. Go ahead and bring up the radar for you guys right now. It's really not too. Yeah, it's definitely lighting up a bit across those regions. Go ahead and hop y'all back over here real quickly. So yeah, you can see that low pressure system located right here, and all that precipitation here is you can see that southwest movement circling around that low pressure. But yeah, it's not really raining too much across Long Island anymore. I mean, obviously yesterday it did quite a bit. Right now, a lot of that heaviest precipitation is actually currently falling across like Massachusetts. That is where precipitation is. The system is, obviously gradually working its way here to the northeast, I believe, which that will allow for the system here. Yeah, no, it's actually moving relatively eastward. Yeah, because we're getting that high pressure we were talking about across the central U.S. or the eastern U.S. That high pressure system right there, that is, obviously pushing the system away. See here, that low pressure system is Ophelia. I think so. I'm pretty sure it is the remains of Ophelia. Yeah. And it's kind of been a problem because it's just been kind of sitting here for the last little bit. I mean, it was causing a bunch of problems overall. Oh wow, guys. So it's that time of the year. The S word, snow, is it's almost time for that. Let me show you guys something real quickly. I just looked at the GFS and some of the models. It looks like that mountain snow is already beginning, even out of the system here. I wonder if they have any winter weather advisories. There's a couple of that. Yeah, a little bit of snow. A lot across like western Wyoming for upper elevations there. Out of that low pressure system, like I said, we have the big dip in the jet stream right here. That's actually going to be associated with that new system, with that potential severe weather event here we're going to be looking at. Because this low pressure system is going to be moving to the northeast here. And it's going to be, like I said, bringing up a lot of that moisture, a lot of that instability into the atmosphere here. So that is, yeah, the clash between the cool air coming back from the backside too, and the warm air pulling up from the east. Think Texas, gotta look out for Tuesday. Western Texas, look out for Tuesday. I'd even say like Oklahoma, Kansas, maybe even Nebraska. Should monitor it. But anyways, but yeah, no snow. That is definitely something that we need to be looking out for sure. That is definitely a thing for the upper elevations. And before you know it, I hate to say this. I mean, hey, look, it's already October. Happy October to you guys. I was going to say we're almost in October, which we are 5 minutes into October right now on the eastern side. So this month of October, that's when you start to see some snow start to happen. Let's see here. TRG says JFK observed its highest rainfall on one day. Last record was 6.2. Event had at least 8.18. Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of rain. You know, especially for, for what happens in that region. You get all of 8 inches of rainfall in one area. And, of course, the rain's not going to sit evenly across the terrain. Slopes, rain's going to come down in those slopes and rise obviously higher than 8 inches. That's not good. That is definitely not good at all. Man, oh man. Yeah, let me actually look at this real quickly. I'm going to hop you guys over here to the radar for a minute. I want to take a look at something before we move over here on the screen. Let's see. I wanted to look at the overall warnings and stuff. Oh, wow. Interesting. Here, let me bring you guys over here. Since we're on this, I do want to mention it. This is the overall warnings, watches, and advisories right now. Let's see here. Okay, so right now we have quite a little bit of activity happening. Got some flood watches in place for portions of New Mexico. Wind advisories for portions of like northeastern Arizona, southeastern Utah, southwestern portions here of Colorado. Got a little bit of red flag warnings in effect too for some of those regions here, southeast Arizona and portions of like even Louisiana. Got some dense fog advisories for portions of northwestern Ohio, northeastern Indiana here, and portions here of southern Michigan. And of course, whenever it leads to winter weather, we have a few winter weather advisories. We have one area here up in Montana, and we have another one here for portions of California. Anyways, but yeah, not too much activity. Coastal flooding, coastal flood warning in place for portions here of Florida. Let's go ahead and see what's going on out there. Actually, curious to see what's happening here. Let's see. We're gonna bring y'all down here to those regions. So apparently there's some coastal flood. Hold on a minute. Oh. I kind of see what's going on. Hold on, let's go ahead and move you all over here. So it looks like Florida's been getting a decent amount of rain here. Like I said, we've seen those coastal flood warnings in place for a lot of these areas here along the eastern side. Yeah, it looks like there's been a lot of rain out there actually, but they need it. Let's see. I want to look at the drought monitor real quickly before we move on. Holy cow. So, yeah, they're not much in a drought anymore, actually, after all that. Yeah, no, Florida's honestly not looking too bad anymore. Looks like Florida's out of the drought for the most part. However, they're towards, like, the Tampa Bay, though. Still a little hefty. It's the western coast of Florida. Also, western panhandle of Florida. That's got a lot of drought conditions right now. Northern Virginia. Western Virginia, not West Virginia, well, probably including West Virginia too, but Western Virginia out there towards the Appalachians are pretty brutal too. But look at this. That's the overall map. So the areas in white is good. No droughts for the areas in white. Areas in yellow, yeah, abnormally dry, but not really a drought. But then once you start moving like to the tan, orange, and red, that's where your big drought activity is. And you can really see how a lot of really a lot of the southern country out there by Texas and Louisiana, very dry. It's not surprising why we have some of those red flag warnings out there by Louisiana. Just considering the fact that just considering the fact out here that we have very dry conditions overall. That's why. I mean, it is very dry out there. Anyways. But, all right, guys. Well, I don't want to hold y'all too long. I know it's getting late here. It is for me, too. I need to get busy working on my my moving still. Stuff like that. Let's see here. I had to go to school on Friday in New York. A whole lot about what? Came home pretty sure 1 to 2 hours late because of subway delays. At that point, they should probably cancel school. If you're expected to see a historic flooding event, call it a day off. Because that is, you don't want to risk that at all. So we had cars covered in water over 3 feet. Wow. That's brutal. Pretty brutal. Actually, look at this. Before we head off, Hawaii. I didn't even look at Hawaii, but Hawaii's pretty dry too, it looks like. Wow. Interesting. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Like I said, other than the tropics and possible severe weather event here popping off for later on early this week across the west or central country, western Texas, and maybe up into the central plains, we'll see. Other than that, in the tropics, really, honestly, not too much happening right now. I mean, it is relatively fine. I mean, other than, also the flooding out there in New York. But that seems to be mostly over for the most part. It seems like that threat is, in terms of rainfall, is mostly done. For New York, anyways, a couple showers could still be possible, obviously. But, the main rain is done for them. This low-pressure system is going to be trailing to the southeast. And, once again, high pressure across the east here. No precipitation. It is honestly very, very clear out across the east right now. Have some nice sunny days. Probably will last a couple days. But let's see here. EPAC. Oh, yeah, the EPAC. There's another system out there we need to monitor. I think 70% chance last time I looked. Let's see, let me double check on it. So the next 2 days, next 48 hours here, 20% chance of development. Very low. And over the next week, next 7 days, 70% chance of development. So that X is where that low pressure system is located right now. The red circle, that is the development region. That is where the system could potentially become a depression or a tropical storm. So we'll watch it. Before we go, though, let me actually, since we're already on the topic, before we head off here, let me show you all the potential tracks on it. I know you guys are probably wondering, well, what's going on with this guy? But let me go ahead and, let's go ahead and move you all over here to the models and stuff real quickly. Let's go ahead and, first of all, pull up the, let's see here, Eastern Pacific. Here we go. All right, let's do that real quickly. So GFS has the system, working its way relatively to the northwest. It's actually dropped the previous run. Wow, interesting. So it has it going up there near Baja California, according to GFS, but then fizzling out very quickly. Interesting. So, but it looks like, according to GFS, this thing could become a hurricane at some point. ECMWF here. Let's go and hop down to 12 Zulu. Total different approach. Total different approach. So it looks like there's a lot of unknowns. A lot of unknowns right now with that system. Yeah, the ECMWF has it going this way, and then the GFS has it doing something like that, which is very different. So let's just watch it. We'll keep an eye on it. I mean, I don't think it'll cause much problems. But I will tell you, though, we might actually have another system down in time as well. Both the GFS and the ECMWF actually does support that possible second system. So let's watch it. We'll see. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to go ahead and head over here to the ending screen. Once again, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry it wasn't, terribly long live stream. I have some packing to do. I got some things I need to get done. I've been very busy in my personal life right now. So, but, things will honestly, I could not ask for a better time for things to be kind of quiet, considering all the stuff that's happening right now. But next week, I will be settling into my new house, which is good. So, but all right. Well, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. You guys take care. We'll catch you guys probably sometime tomorrow. We'll see in terms of updates and everything like that. And all right. Let's see here. Good night, Andrew. Good luck on moving. Thank you. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. Once again, stream's going to head off here in approximately 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and start counting that down. So go ahead and say your final goodbyes to your friends, family, anybody who you're hanging out with in the chat. So go ahead and say your final goodbyes as the stream's going to be heading off here in about 2 minutes. All right, guys. Y'all take care. Once again, thank y'all for being here. Y'all rock. We love y'all. And we'll catch you guys later on. All right, my friends. See you later. Peace out.